Hey, hey, it's your girl, Latonia Monroe Naylor, the Mission Rich Consultant. Yes, I am here today for another Tea and Talk Tuesday with Latonia, but guess what, y'all? I don't have no tea today. This is what I got. Yes. Oh my gosh, y'all. I am on a 7-day detox. I'm on day one of liquids. I have 2 more days to go on liquids, and it's back to veggies. But it has been a wonderful, wonderful transformation time for me. As y'all know, I've been doing my 5 a.m. challenges. I'm on day 16. It is crazy that I am here. Uh, it was funny last night. We were in a meeting, family meeting. We have them once a week. And my husband was giving me kudos, saying like he's so proud of me getting up and doing what I'm doing. And he's been trying to get me to really tighten up on some things for a while because, as y'all know, I'm doing a lot of things, a lot of competing priorities, and always trying to ensure that I'm streamlining them and doing things to my maximum capacity. And he had been trying to like remind me, like, you want to get back in the gym, you want to get, and I was like, yeah, uh-huh. But finally, the light bulb clicked, and I know many of y'all understand where I'm coming from because people will tell you something over and over again that you need to be doing, and you're like, yeah, I'm a gonna. And finally, when you are intentional about doing it and getting it done, and you see the results, you're like so thankful that you have those people in your corner who are always thinking about what's best for you and not just what's best for them. And so before we jump into everything, I just want to remind y'all about my book, Mission Rich and Profit Powered. I don't know how I'm sitting here without a copy with me right now at this moment. Um, but y'all know, go to the website. Go to missionrichandprofitpowered.com or go to Amazon and get the book. It is going to be available on Audible very soon. I'm working on it. I can't wait until that's finished. But let's jump right back in talking about today. Goodbye, Foggy. Hello, Clarity. Yeah, because that was me. A lot of people ask me all these questions like, how are you getting all these things done? And yes, I get a lot of things done, and I've been able to tackle a lot of goals and objectives that I've had. But I have to admit at the same time, at the end of the day, I get home, I'm tired, I want some sleep. There's times when I would just feel like I was not being productive because my brain would just be so foggy. I'm like, I got so much to do. How am I going to continue to unpack this and continue to plan and strategize? And so when I started the 5 a.m. challenge, as I've told many people already, it was not just about getting up to go exercise. As a matter of fact, I don't exercise every morning. Sometimes I have to exercise in the evening, sometimes in the afternoon, sometimes at home, sometimes at the gym. It really depends. I put it in my schedule according to when I can go. But the whole purpose for me was really around clarity. Clarity is so important. You know what I'm saying? Clarity is super, super important. If you are going to be effective in anything, whether it be a parent, whether it be a business owner, business leader, professional, whatever, athlete, you name it. Anybody who wants to do anything for any set period of time and be successful has to have intentionality and clarity. Those are just two things you cannot not have. Okay, and so today we're going to talk about clarity. Hello, clarity. First of all, the first thing that happened for me is I started to notice things that I have not noticed. And when I say that was crazy, is that I remember driving in my car the other day and I just happened to look up and look at the mileage that was, for my next oil change. And I noticed a phone number for the place that I go get my oil changes from and get my car fixed at, right? And I can remember the number of times in my fast moving that I had to pick up phones, pick up my phone and say, hey, Siri, call whatever. And Siri's giving me a hard time because if y'all know Siri, Siri do what it want to do when she want to do it, or he, depending on what kind of Siri you got. My Siri is actually a man. It actually talks. Okay. Anyways, so another story, another day. The whole point is that at the end of the day, I'm looking up and I realize the phone number is sitting right in front of my face. So I spent how many months for how many years fighting with Siri every time I need to do an oil change to get Siri to actually listen to me and call the number. Because y'all know sometimes Siri act like they don't understand English, they don't understand what you're saying, all of that stuff. I'm like, no, we ain't got time for this. But I look up and I notice the phone number is there. Now, why is this important? How many things is it in your life that you are supposed to be doing that is in your face that you are not paying attention to? How many things that you are not paying attention to? Simple things. Perfect example, the number of people that pay for EIN numbers. People pay to get their EIN numbers. People pay for stuff that they don't have to pay for because they don't know that they shouldn't, because they're not paying attention to the obvious things, because they're not taking the time to slow down and have clarity, right? See some things that are right in front of your face. Literally, if you Google EIN, all these random ads are going to pop up, but the one that really should get your attention is the irs.gov. You click on irs.gov and it actually shows you everything that you need to do to set up your EIN. And guess what? They don't charge you. And you can pick up the phone and call them. The phone numbers are there. But how many times do we move so fast that we don't pay attention to the small details? The small details, like a phone number that you can just pick up and call, talk to somebody and get the answer directly from the source versus some random third party that you don't know and you pay them $200. Yes, $200. I've seen them reach out even to me, wanting me to give them $200 to set up an EIN for a client. I don't think so. Next, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Let me tell you what happens. My little earbud trying to come out. But guess what, y'all? This is what happens when you live. All right, keep it simple. When you have clarity, clarity keeps things simple. I cannot tell you the number of things over the last few weeks that I all of a sudden had these aha moments. Like, why were you doing it that way? That is the hard way. You should have did it this way. There were so many things that I can't even name. It was hysterical. I was literally laughing at myself at times because I'm like, girl, here you are getting all these things done the long, complicated way. Because when your brain is moving so fast and you're flustered and you're always in high gear, you don't know how to tone it down and just do things simply. Like keep it simple. Writing a list is keeping it simple. I got into a conversation with one of my daughters. She was like, I don't need a list. I don't need to remember stuff. I'm not old. Keeping a list has nothing to do with being old. Keeping a list has everything to do with being effective. Okay? So at the end of the day, this is what happens, right? You keep a list, and the idea of keeping a list is for you to remember not only the things that you need to do, not only things that you want to do, but understanding that lists actually build and transform into plans. Plans actually turn into strategies. Strategies turn into sustainability and longevity. So if you don't start with a list, which is simple, and you can't just keep a list, you can't just at the beginning of the week make a list of the things that you absolutely need to do, of the things that you absolutely need to have in your calendar, of the things that you absolutely cannot forget that you have to do, you are going to miss it. How are you ever going to learn how to be effective in creating plans and strategies if the very basic aspect of that, which starts with a list, is something that you are not willing to keep up with? Keep it simple. Stop trying to jump into a novel that's 12,000 pages when you can start with a guide that's 15 pages that at least gives you some fundamentals that you can start to build on. When people ask me about how it is that we are able to take a nonprofit from a $500 budget to a close to $1 million budget, and some other great things that are happening that I will not tell you about until after December 1st. But the point is that happened because we took things in simplicity and we built on it. One thing at a time, one stage at a time, one program at a time, one funder at a time, one relationship at a time. Keep it simple, okay? The next one is you are likely to be taken advantage of. So I literally sat down and started combing through things because now I'm getting up at 5 in the morning. I have the time to do my devotionals, my prayer, exercising if that's the thing I'm doing on that day, and getting my plans together, going through my lists, going through my plans, setting up things that need to be set up, having meetings with my husband, my kids. Like we are intentionally, right? Intentionally doing things because when you have clarity, it's not only for your benefit. You want to make sure everybody around you is leveling up, right? So when I was going through everything, I noticed that there were line items on certain bills that I had paid for because I don't like paying interest on my credit cards. So I just paid a bill at the end of the month. Whatever I spent, I paid a bill off at the end of the month. And sometimes I had a chance to go through the list, and sometimes I didn't get a chance to go through the transactions, right? And so I had the time to actually start going back and reviewing all of the transactions for the last few months. And I found out there were multiple transactions that were not mine, multiple transactions that were fraudulent. And I don't know if fraud means somebody took it and used it, one of my kids, I don't know. But all I know is I didn't authorize those transactions. I found that my insurance was going to need to be changed, that there was actually a better rate for me with a different insurance company. All of these things that I would not have come across if I was too busy moving fast and continue to move fast. See, that's the goal, right? Slowing things down helps us to speed things up in a way that is manageable for us and to scale at a way that is manageable for us. And so I am getting a little lengthy in today's talk, so I'm getting ready to close it out. But I just hope that what I'm saying is getting to the people that need to hear it, because at the end of the day, we are all wanting to go somewhere and be something. And I actually posted something on my page this morning about a frog that was in the grass that you can't even tell that the frog is in the grass. And the whole point of that is that we sometimes get so busy in the hustle and bustle that we don't take the time. We just blend in with everything else and we don't really stand out. We don't really make our stance and the things that we really care about and the things that we really love and want to have a legacy with or through. Um, but when we take the time to discipline ourselves, to do things like setting a 5 a.m. challenge for yourself, yours might not be 5 a.m. Maybe yours is 4 a.m. Maybe yours is 6 a.m. Maybe yours is 7 a.m. Maybe there's something else that you need to do to challenge yourself to continue to grow. Maybe you're like, yeah, 5 a.m. is something that's a goal of mine in within the next 6 months, but I can't do it right now. But here's some other things that I can do to start planning for that. Because I literally did that. I didn't just wake up the next day and say, oh, here we are. I started planning it into my schedule like 3, 4 months ago. I said, what were some of the strategies that I was going to have to employ in order for me to get to the next level? Because in order for you to get there, you cannot continue to use the same exact tools. Now, key, when I say this, the process of what you do as far as what needs to be done may be similar at different levels, but how you employ that and the systems that it takes for you to get there are what makes it unique and are what makes it very different. And most people are not able to employ the level of systems that are required to really move to the next level because they're not able to slow it down and discipline themselves so that they can really bring out the best of them. I've been reading some really great books that not only have I learned some things from, but have affirmed a lot of things that helps me to understand why I've been able to be on the trajectory that I am. And I want you to be on the same trajectory. I want you to realize your dreams and goals. I want you to understand that not even 20% of people who start nonprofit organizations ever get funded. Pass, okay? Keyword, pass $500,000, right? Most of them never get more than $100,000 for their entity in a year, right? So I'm telling you this as something for you to think about, that most people who start businesses will not have a business come year two. Year one, they have the business, they're excited, but they will not be around for year two. And if they're blessed to be around for year two, year five is probably not going to happen. for most people that start businesses. And the reason, it all goes back to what I'm saying here today. The reason is that most people will not intentionally put themselves into a place where they will have clarity to be able to see more clearly what it is that they need to do to continue to elevate, continue to grow, not just in your business and your revenue, but as a person. Because let me tell you, if you increase revenue, but you don't decrease expenses and you don't learn how to employ strategies, you just got a lot more money and a lot more bills. But if you have intentionality and clarity, it starts to give you this ability to be able to strategize on a whole other level. So, at any rate, I gotta go, y'all. I hope that you got something out of it. I hope that you are on the path to saying goodbye to foggy, hello clarity, because at the end of the day, that clarity is going to get you some places that that foggy mindset could not. And we can go on and on about that. But at the end of the day, I just want to remind you that you can reach out to me. You can join my academy. We are revamping our program. So if you don't get a chance to jump in the next couple of weeks, sorry to say, it's gonna be a little different, but always better. Always better. All right, y'all. We'll check y'all out. Some really exciting stuff is happening in October. We'll make sure that you get that information as we go. Sign up for my mailing list. Direct message me so you can join the mailing list, so you can be aware of what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it. And at the end of the day, have a blessed one. All right.